your home for Ducks basketball.
I think we have talent. We have some good experience.
Duarte to the basket, the slam. Omoruyi for three, yes!
I think we have enough talent to have a very competitive team.
Oh, and a steal and slam for Williams.
I think we've got as much talent, if not more, than we've ever had in our game.
Pike zone fires, hit. Only right corner three, another bully ball. The Ducks have done the double championship for the second time in 3 years. The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
It's time for Tip-Off Tuesday, presented by Carl's Jr. on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Visit your locally family-owned and operated Carl's Jr. today. Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. From the Country Financial Studio, alongside Terry Jonz, here's Joey Mack.
Thank you, and a good Tip-Off Tuesday coming your way. We have so much to talk about.
Go fast.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin McKenna, Oregon men's basketball assistant coach, going to join us. Eugene Omoruyi, had a great conversation with him yesterday. He was multitasking. More on that in a moment. Also, Kelly Graves and Sedona Prince, as Oregon women's basketball got back in the win column, and Oregon men's basketball, well, hoping to be back to full strength for their 6 o'clock tip-off on Thursday against UCLA and the women, also on the road.
On the road, going to Utah Friday, and Sunday will be in Boulder against Colorado. By the way, they knocked off Stanford a couple weeks ago when
Not
they
bad.
were number one. Should we get to Kelly?
We should.
All right, here's my chat with Kelly Graves, brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
All right, Coach, bounce back, coming back home against the Washington Schools. Got a season sweep of the Washington Schools. No easy task, by the way, especially Washington State. I know you're an offensive coach, but are you sure you're not becoming a defensive coach too?
Well, I sure appreciate the way we're playing defense. I mean, over our last 4 games, we've allowed just 50 points per game, and teams are just shooting 28% from the field and 24 from the three against us. So that's really getting it done defensively. Offensively, it hasn't been pretty at times, but I'm still confident that that we'll be able to correct that side of the ball. But the defense, very impressive right now.
Heading to the mountain schools this weekend. And if anybody wants to question whether that's a tough road trip, it is anyway, but Utah just got a win at Arizona State. And of course, you know what J.R. Payne and the Colorado Buffaloes did last weekend to then number 1 Stanford. So it's going to be a tough road trip just ahead.
Yeah, it will be. That was example A and example B right there. And the fact that you're playing at about a mile high. Anybody who thinks that's easy, why don't you go jog a mile in Boulder and see how you feel after? But they're both very well coached, both good friends of mine, and they have their teams, I think, playing really well right now. The win for Utah at ASU is actually quite impressive. And, we're going to see a whole different team. When we played Utah here, it was their first game. They'd been in quarantine for a couple of weeks. So they had some rust, you could tell, and it got out of hand early. But I anticipate they're going to be a lot better. And then you just said, anytime you beat number 1, that means you're doing something right. JR is going to have her team playing hard over there in Boulder.
Looks like a 4-team horse race down the stretch here for the Pac-12 championship. I mean, still 9 games, or at least 9 games to go. I don't know how it all works out, but 4 teams have separated themselves, and here we go. Let's battle it out.
Absolutely. We've won 3 in a row, so our kids know how to do it. Even though this is a young team, we've been through it, and we're only 1 game out. So when UCLA beat Stanford, that put us now within controlling our own destiny. So now we just have to we play all those other 3 teams once more, 2 of them at home, and so we feel good. Going down the stretch. We're going to have to play better, but right now we have a chance, and that's all you can ask for.
January 26th, it is, and that date's going to be stuck in our minds forever, and we were hopeful it'd be a sweep of Oregon State, and you certainly remember that, but a year ago was a bittersweet day, wasn't it?
It sure was, a day that, I and my team will remember forever. I mean, just the circumstances of the game, the national TV audience, having not won at Gill, 2 ranked teams, and then the Kobe's and Gigi's, plane or helicopter crash. And let's not forget, Terry, the Altobelli family. Right. They are Ducks through and through. They are the ones that introduced us, Kobe and Gigi, to our program, and we sure miss them. And that was obviously an unfortunate tragedy, but a day that will live forever. And truly, you saw what being part of a team is all about, and having sisters and brothers who step up when you need them most. And that's what happened that day. So it was a culmination of good, bad, and but historic and tragic.
One final note, got a chance to talk with Sedona Prince yesterday. Love that girl. She's just a great kid and obviously a great player, and been through so much. But your thoughts on Sedona?
Well, I love her. I mean, she is, what a great spirit she has. Awesome teammate, so talented on the court, and we're starting to see it. I mean, she's still rusty. You can tell, she's trying to work some things out. But just a lover of life, and of people, and she's so easy to be around, and you want her to succeed, and that's what I love about it. And she's had so many hardships, but she's working through them, and thank goodness she's healthy now, and sky's the limit with that young lady. She's got a heck of a bright future. Terry.
All right, Coach, that's all the time we got for you here today, but we'll talk to you in Salt Lake City, I imagine.
Yeah. Next stop, SLC, back my home stomping grounds.
All right, there you go. Head coach Kelly Graves said if you want to know the view from their new offices, there you go.
That's right.
That's right behind them. That's what they're looking at, the practice courts.
Kevin McKenna had the same backdrop. You'll see that coming up.
Oh, good. All right, Sedona Prince, we were talking about her. Let's hear from her. That's coming up next on Tip-Off Tuesday. After this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Carl's Jr. invites you to try the new Fiery Famous Star. Are you looking for sizzling charbroiled burger bliss, melty pepper jack cheese, and kickin' jalapeno crispiness, all dripping with creamy, zesty, fiery sauce goodness? Your answer is yes. Join us for the new Fiery Famous Star. Only at Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. Available for a limited time at participating Carl's Jr. restaurants. Price and participation may vary.
Dear Wallet, you can't stop in a 2021 Toyota, no matter the weather. The Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. Snowy hills don't stand a chance against the RAV4, and everyone will be comfy in the Highlander. See you in the snow. Toyota. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
More than ever, you're looking for the perfect getaway. With gourmet food, your favorite games, and a beautiful lodge, book the perfect getaway at Spirit Mountain Casino, the Northwest's premier entertainment destination. Go to spiritmountain.com.
Ducks basketball lives here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Whoa, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing.
Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Tip-Off Tuesday, brought to you by Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. And Sedona Prince, good to have her back. That kid is so talented, and you're going to find out now just what a great person she is. Let's hear from Sedona.
All right, Sedona, how many times have you been called Fresh Prince of Eugene? Am I the first?
By Mark Campbell. I think Mark Campbell came up with it. And then announcers started using it, and now it's just like a thing. So I love it. I think it's really cool.
Now, you know about the show, right, Will Smith? I mean, you're really young for it. But
I know about this show, of course, yeah.
All right. Now, you from Liberty Hill, Texas, right outside of Austin. What was it like?
Yes,
were you born and raised there? No, you were born in California, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. I was born in California.
Go ahead. When did you go to Liberty Hill?
I moved when I was 6 years old. moved to like Liberty Hill's a really, really small town. It's like 40 minutes outside Austin. So it's like we still get some city vibes, but it's really, really country. We have like one Dairy Queen, one Chicken Express, and like there's not much in our town. And so when we moved there, it was like population of like, I think there was 900 people in that town. And now it's huge. Now it's growing a lot. So yeah.
Oh, wow. So what was it like growing up there? I mean, you big fish in a little pond, or of course you're outside of Austin, so it's a bigger pond right next door.
Yeah. It was fun. I mean, I always kind of stood out, so it was like fun being the tallest and, you know, a basketball player in my town. But it was fun. Like I had a lot of really good friends, and I love Liberty Hill. And I always go back. My parents are developers there, so they build a lot of stuff, and they're doing really good things right now, and building restaurants and, you know, little things here and there. So it's fun. It's you know, it's my hometown, and I miss it.
Yeah, that's great. Now your mom was a basketball player, right? And volleyball, and your dad was or is a Marine, or was a Marine, I guess, right?
Yeah, was a Marine. Yeah.
So you got the bug for basketball from mom?
Yeah, and the discipline and work ethic from dad.
Well, a Marine, you know, come on.
Yeah.
You still got to be a Marine. And you have a brother named Diego.
I do, yeah.
Tell us about him. How old? What's he doing?
Diego is 22. He lives in Austin, and he owns a company. He works with my dad, and they do development stuff in Austin or in the surrounding area. And yeah, he's my best friend in the world. Like we get along so well, and we talk almost every day, and we're buddies. So I'm really glad to have him in my life. You know, we grew up together, and like, I don't know, like he's the only person that knows like kind of my struggles with basketball and height and stuff. And so he's been the only person that I can really like lean on for how I'm feeling at all times. So he's the best person in the world. I love him to death. So
the names Sedona and Diego. Now they named after like Sedona, Arizona. There's San Diego.
Yeah.
What is that? What it is?
That's exactly what it is. My parents met in San Diego, and then they got married in Sedona, Arizona. So they like wanted to have names that kind of represent their love and you know, our family. So yeah.
That is cool. I love that. That's great. You know, you mentioned your brother, you know, helping you with, you know, being tall. And that sometimes I know, talk with Bev Smith, Mike. I know you know Bev. Everybody knows Bev. You know, she's not as tall as you, but I know I've had conversations with her that it can be tough for a woman to grow up and being tall. What was that been like for you? Yeah.
Growing up, it was always a struggle because like I just couldn't it was hard to fit in, you know, especially with like, when it's going through middle school and stuff. I just wanted to be a normal kid. And here I was like a foot taller than every single person in my grade, even the boys. And so it was just really hard to like fit in and find myself and just be myself and be confident with who I was. And I just always wore high waters and stuff. And I was always really dorky and goofy, which like it was who I am now. But it was really, really hard to just find myself and find the confidence to love myself for being super, super tall. And yeah, it's a struggle. Like it wasn't fun. I went through a lot of really hard times. My mom helped me out too. And she was there for me because she was tall too. And it was hard for her to relate sometimes because she's 5'11" and I was like 6'7". So I was like, no one, you know, it's hard to like find someone that really understands it. But I think the internet helped a lot, and like finding other women that were super, super tall. And I was friends with like Nancy Mulkey growing up. I was on her AAU team, and she was 6'9". And so I remember looking up at her and being like, wow, this girl is like really, really cool. She knows how to dress. Like, you know, that's kind of how I want to envision myself in the future. So it's pretty cool.
You are who you're supposed to be, Sedona.
Absolutely.
And you know, I can tell you're very self-confident. I mean, I've been around you enough the last couple of years to know. You and Niara, rehab buddies. You know, I talked to Niara about it a few weeks ago, and it really helps to have a rehab buddy. If you got to go through rehab, it helps to have somebody there to help you through it. But all that you went through, we talked with Niara about all that she went through, a couple ACLs. Yours was a little different journey, but it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Niara and I have been through a lot together, especially with TikTok and stuff. And that's just kind of my buddy. We went through her second ACL tear when I came here, and then my being denied eligibility, and kind of those two struggles and like how they bonded us. And you could see our chemistry on the bench together. Like we just had so much fun, and we decided to come out last year saying like, we're going to support our team. We're going to do every single thing we can to support on the bench, to be in practice, to be energy, to lead. even from the bench, and like just do anything we could do just to be a part of it, a special team last year.
You know, all that you went through with the broken leg and 2 surgeries, and then you start this year and you're feeling great, you're going fine, and then the ankle. And
Yeah.
I mean, you ever go, just, oh, come on. I mean, is it worth it?
I mean, absolutely. It was a struggle because I was like coming out and playing really well in my first 2 games, and then I hurt my ankle, and then my right leg, my broken leg, started to hurt a little bit, get really sore, and then it progressively started getting worse as I was playing. And like you can kind of see me limping in some games and just kind of like not being myself. And I had a pretty hard discussion with my family and like my trainers and Kim and coach, and we just decided to kind of stop for a little bit and take a breath and be like, okay, let me heal, let me get back to 100% so that I can have my confidence, so that I can be just my full version of myself playing basketball and like off the court. And so it really has helped. I mean, this weekend kind of shows that like I'm fully healthy, back again, playing my best game, playing my best basketball, and I have a lot to work on, but it is nice like just being able to come out during the games and only focus on basketball, you know, not the amount of pain I'm in, or not if, you know, nervous about my legs and stuff. So yeah, it was difficult, but it's totally worth it. Like it's basketball. It's, you know, it's my passion. So I'm just happy to be playing again.
Yeah, you're looking great out there. When you decided to leave Texas and transfer, I think it was UConn, Notre Dame, and Oregon, the 3 that you looked at, if I'm right. And
Yes,
you
sir.
picked Oregon. We're so glad you did, because we love you. But and not just as a basketball player, but to transfer into Oregon and then picking the Ducks. What was it?
Oh man, Oregon was my last visit. I had gone on the 2 before, and I came here and I just had this like sense of like, I don't know, this feeling of like happiness and joy here. And I remember talking to Lydia out on the street outside of our apartment complexes, and just like seeing this of just the most beautiful human and so happy and confident. And she was like, it's amazing here. Like this place is special and we'd be blessed to have you here. And I have family that live close too. And I remember just like driving through Oregon and being like, wow, this place is like special. And I love nature a lot, and I'm very connected with nature, and I love like going out and hiking and just like being around trees and animals and stuff. And so coming here was like so special for me in that time as well, because even if I'm not playing basketball, if I'm off the court, like it's I can just go outside and be surrounded by the woods or be in the river and stuff. And I love fishing too, so I was like, this is a great place for fishing. So that's another plus. But just like the atmosphere and the coaches, like there's just no other place like Oregon, you know.
I agree wholeheartedly. You mentioned TikTok, and it's kind of funny. As I was getting ready to talk to you this morning, I thought, well, I'll Google and see if there's anything new I need to know about Sedona. I don't already know, and it comes up Sedona Prince TikTok. So I went and watched some TikToks, learned how to do fried pickles in an air fryer. That was pretty cool. But tell us about the TikTok. You're just into that, and you're so funny. You got such a great personality.
Thank you. Yeah, I started last year. When all this stuff happened, when I lost eligibility and when I was like pretty sad. I was just like going through a lot of hard stuff and never knowing if I was gonna play basketball again, or, you know, just like struggling with who I was. And TikTok was like a platform that no one really like used at the time, like no athletes really used. And I remember telling Niara, I was like, I am gonna start a TikTok, because I like, what else am I gonna do at the time? Like I have so much free time. I'm not playing basketball. Like, I'm gonna start a TikTok. And she was like, oh my God, whatever. And I kind of got made fun of, like teased and stuff by a lot of people. And then, you know, I just started like showing what my personality was and showing the basketball side, showing off my teammates, and just, you know, I don't know, just talking about my life and trying to help young girls be tall and that kind of stuff. And it's paid off. I mean, I have a lot of people that look up to me, and I have a big platform now. So I'm really lucky to have that and have people that like love me and support me.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, they're fun. I hadn't really watched any, and I got under. I was like, "Oh man, this is great!" I was showing my wife, and we were laughing at some of them. Playing with no fans. Now you know, a lot of places you don't get to play in women's basketball. There's not a lot of fans, but you've seen what it's like, can be like at Oregon, Matthew Knight. But what's that been like for you guys?
It's been different. It's been weird. Just having, I don't know, that atmosphere of Matthew Knight with like 12,000 fans is electric. And not having that it's different. The game is definitely different this year. And it's kind of sad, because I was like, I want to play my first year in front of a student section and my friends, but the fact that we get to play basketball at all right now is a blessing. And so I'm, you know, we're very lucky. but it is hard, and it's definitely like it's just different. It's a different game of basketball. There's no, there's crowd noise that's playing in the background. There's cardboard fans in the stadium, so it's like it's very different, and it's a different atmosphere. But the fact that we're playing basketball is a blessing in itself. So we got to look at it from both ways, but it is different.
Yeah, it's different to call the game too. You're like, you expect a big roar, on a big play by Sedona, and there's not, and you just got to go with it. That's what it is. And we're all blessed that we're there watching you, calling the games, and you getting to play. It's all come together. Last year's team and experience. I mean, I have no doubt that team was probably going to win the whole thing. I mean, the way things were going. And we'll finish with this. Just talk about that experience with, Sabrina, Ruthie, and Satu, and Mignon. And it was just a special, special group, wasn't it?
Yeah. After that OSU game, when Kobe had passed away, I think that it was just like a feeling that the entire mentality of the team just shifted. And it was like, nobody is beating us. We were down at like halftime, and just being able to like sit back and watch these girls, women, just conduct themselves in such a way of like confidence and passion for the game. It was, walking to the gym every day and seeing Sabrina and Ruthie and Mignon and Satu warm up, and you're just like, I'm about to practice against these girls. Like, oh my goodness, it was an opportunity of a lifetime. And I learned so much from Ruthie being down low, and I battled with her every day. Not a lot of people know that I was a practice player last year. Everyone thinks that I was injured for 2 years, but I had practiced with the team all last year. And so being able to like come in every day and just like battle them and be friends with them, like off the court, and just learn from them and be around them, it's pretty special, and I see them all the time now and on social media doing great things. And I see when they come back and stuff, get to hang out with them. But that team was probably, that team was hands down the most special team I've ever been a part of and will ever be a part of, because there's nothing that'll ever match that.
Yeah, well, we talked about it on the radio quite a bit, that watching you and Ruthie go at it together in practice, we got a chance to see that. And I would say, I bet Ruthie would say Sedona's the toughest post player she's had to go against, because you give it to Ruthie pretty good, she'd give it back to you. I mean, you made Ruthie better.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun days. We had a lot of good practices and stuff. But yeah, last year was definitely special.
All right, Sedona, thanks so much for the visit. I know you got classwork to do. If you go to her TikTok, you'll see after the game, and she looks at her computer and sees all the projects she's got to have done before midnight. The life of a D1 player, I think you tabbed it. But thanks so much. You're playing so well. I'm so happy for you. You know that. I wish I could be there. And in fact, I'll tell you what, before we go, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get the views back, and we're going to give each other a virtual fist bump. How about that?
I like that.
Do that? All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. There's yours. All right. Thanks, Sedona. Keep playing well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.
There you go, Sedona Prince. Isn't she great?
That was awesome. Oh,
she is fantastic. Love that kid.
How easy to root for.
Oh,
right. That's.
And I could have talked to her for an hour. I know I went too long, even as it was, but it was worth it.
That was a lot of fun.
Great. All right, men's basketball.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's right. We got UCLA, a trip to LA coming up for the men. Women are on the road too, so we're going to spend a lot of time in the studio calling the games remotely. But also in the studio, we talked with assistant coach Kevin McKenna earlier today. That's next on Tip Off Tuesday, presented by Carl's Jr. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Ninkasi Brewing is proud to be an official partner of the Oregon Radio Network.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon!
Independently owned and brewed in Eugene since 2006, Ninkasi invites you to slay the season with Slayer Winter Ale, on shelves now. Slayer is available in a 6-pack of bottles and in a 12-pack of cans for the very first time. More information at ninkasibrewing.com. That's ninkasibrewing.com.
What's it like to grow with the O? At OCCU, we support Duck fans each step of the way by educating our youth with Lucky Duck Savings, celebrating independence with Duck Debit Checking, and rewarding members with the Duck Credit Card. That's how Duck fans grow with OCCU. Learn how you can too at myoccu.org/ducks.
This is Ducks basketball from Learfield IMG College.
All right, everybody in the car, let's go. What are we gonna do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not that far, sweetie.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already?
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
They say that car crashes happen in slow motion. The reality is that crashes happen fast. There's no time to think and no time to check if your child is in the right car seat. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your kids in the right seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Get more info at safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Tip-Off Tuesday, presented by Carl's Jr. Joey Mack with you inside the Country Financial Studio, and joining us on the University of Oregon Alumni Association guest line, assistant coach Kevin McKenna. Coach, it's great to talk with you. We were just talking here during the break that you've got a whole new office set up over there, but you're still moving in, right?
Yeah, we're still in the process. When you got games coming at you and stuff like that, it's hard to kind of organize your office. So eventually we'll get some stuff in here. Got some good Final Four stuff and some other Pac-12 championship stuff put up on the wall. So it'll be cool when it gets done.
I love it. The new offices, can't say enough. Thanks to Phil and Penny Knight. Those offices are really quite something over there at Matthew Knight Arena. And fans looking forward to having you be able to see them again, hopefully sooner than later. Coach, let's look back just briefly. A tough loss, but you guys were a little bit shorthanded. In fact, I said on the broadcast, it's like you guys didn't have 4 starters if you count Will and Folly, and then you add in Chris and LJ. I also, though, thought that even though the game didn't go the way you guys wanted, got some other guys that had some valuable minutes. That's valuable experience. Just break down what you saw this past weekend for us.
Well, I didn't think we played very well. Obviously, we just got destroyed on the boards mainly, and we didn't compete like we had been. It was disappointing. I didn't think, I thought we as a staff, and coach said it, he kind of says it all the time, but we made some mistakes as a staff too, what we were trying to do and some schemes that we were trying to make. So that's on that part is on us. But at the end of the day, we didn't play very hard compared to past games. And I think that's one thing that we've always kind of prided ourselves on, is that we do compete pretty hard and give good effort all the time. And the effort wasn't there on the boards, and it's something that we've got to correct. We had a better day of practice yesterday, and hopefully we can continue to improve and get ready for this week.
Yeah, Coach, I talked to Eugene Omoruyi yesterday afternoon, and he said that it kind of felt like a wake-up call and that yesterday's practice was really solid. As a coach, you've got to absolutely love that, right? Like if a loss wakes you up, that's what you want from a loss, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think Coach would probably agree with this too, Coach Altman would, that, how we practice is how we feel the rest of the day as coaches. If we have a crappy practice, you feel like, you just lost your dog or something like that. It's an up and down thing for us. And we did have a better day, so that lifted us up a little bit. I think our guys felt better about how they competed at practice. And, if we continue to do that, we'll be in games and we'll win our share of games.
Coach, I don't want to make an excuse. I know you guys won't, but being shorthanded, practice must be a little bit better when you've got a full team at practice again, right? In this landscape, that's got to mean something, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult to give guys breaks when you're shorthanded in practice. We're not going to make, any excuses like that. We've got good players that again, like you said, had an opportunity and will get opportunities continue as the season goes on, because it's just stuff keeps coming at you like that. You just got to take advantage of your opportunities and be ready and not play timid, not play on your heels. You got to be aggressive and if you make a mistake, make it going 100%.
Kevin McKenna, our guest on Tip-Off Tuesday, presented by Carl's Jr. Chris Duarte today named to the Jerry West Top 10 list. That's one of the best shooting guards in the country, and he's being recognized that way. He's in the top 8 he's in the top 10, I should say, in 8 different statistical categories, Coach. How good has Chris been, particularly in Pac-12 games that he's played in?
He's played really well, obviously, in the games that he's been in, and we missed him in the last game. There's no question about that. Chris is a very hard worker. You know, he's kind of trying to do a lot of the similar things Peyton did last year, as far as putting time in, extra time in, before, after, recovery after practice. You know, he's treating this like he's a pro, and I think he's going to be a pro, and as long as he keeps working hard and continuing to make progress. Chris is a really good kid to be around, really fun kid to be around.
The other end of that spectrum, from a senior in Chris to now a freshman in Jalen Terry, Coach, I wanted to ask you about him. It had to be nice to have him back out there, and it sure looks like he's got a real bright future.
Yeah, he does. He got a couple shots to go down. You know, it seems like we hadn't had him for a month, and when you look at it, he really was out for about 3 weeks, and you know, it's hard when you sit that long and then all of a sudden you have a game after only practicing for a few days. So he's you know, he's coming along. He's making progress.
Talking about Eugene Omoruyi, I mentioned that we talked with him for our player spotlight this week. I just loved talking with him, Coach. Take fans inside the process of getting Eugene on campus with the program last year, went through rehab, and now just the minutes that he gives you guys, he's so valuable to I'm sure, what you guys are doing.
Yeah, he is. He's a versatile player. He plays bigger than, you know, he's probably only about 6'5", 6'6", but he plays bigger than that. He plays super hard, tries to get charges, tries to get rebounds. And, you know, he's just his perimeter game is developing. He's a really good inside player, good at drawing fouls, pretty crafty around the basket, and a good teammate. Very vocal, you know, very focused. And, again, he's doing everything he can to help our team go.
The schedule for the week, 3 games in Los Angeles. I can't remember if that's ever been a thing in the history of Pac-12 basketball where you're playing 3 games like this, but thus, you know, unprecedented season in 2020 to 2021. Some keys in 2 matchups against UCLA and a matchup with USC. Some big ones on the road for you guys, Coach.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of UCLA film the last few days. They're a connected team on both ends. Defensively, they're solid. Offensively, I think they're the number 8 or 9, maybe 10 now, I think, after yesterday. 10th offense efficiency rated program in the country. They really are a deliberate team. They play really slow. They can play fast on occasion, and they'll get some early offense transition baskets, but they're a really good execution team. They run a lot of stuff. They've got a really good point guard that kind of makes them go. He's getting, you know, 5-6 assists a game, and they're just a well-coached, hard-playing team.
How do you beat them?
You know, you got to limit their second shots, and that's again the last 3 games we've had a problem with rebounding, and you know, they come at you with some good athletes and some good size, and we've got to do our job on the boards and get more guys blocking out. Our blockout percentages were really low in our last game. We track that and you know, we know what the numbers are, and it's a direct relation to how we're playing usually. So we've got to do a better job on the boards. We're going to have to defend a little bit better, and we've got to execute better. And hopefully getting a couple of these guys back maybe will help us do that. But again, a lot of that stuff depends on how things go these next couple of days with their what do they call it? Protocol return or return to protocol or whatever it is. I don't even know what the terminology is, but hopefully we get them back and we can get them on the court.
What I've been saying to everybody, Coach, in that theme is we don't know who's going to play until the ball gets tipped off, kicked off, whatever. I mean, that's just the way that this is, and it's really been that way. Adjustment and flexibility has maybe been the theme around the country for every coach and student athlete, right?
Sure, for sure. It's you know, it's been a weird, you know, we almost played UCLA. We were all on the court and we were ready to go in, like, I don't know, 20 minutes. And they said, no, the game's not going to happen. And it's like, wow, you know, you know, and it wasn't because of a player. It wasn't because of a player on our team or their team. It was a referee from the night before that, you know, that tested positive, I guess. So again, you kind of got to just worry about the things you can control. And for us, that's being prepared, playing hard, competing, giving good effort. And the things that you can't control, you just kind of got to roll with it. You know, there's a lot of people out there that have had a lot worse situations than us. We've got to deal with what we have handed to us. And, you know, when we do get to play, we take advantage of it and enjoy it and embrace it and give it your all and do all those things that we talk about. But you can't worry about when you're not going to play or who's not playing. Just do your job and do what you can when you're out there.
Coming up, we've got Eugene Omoruyi. We'll hear from him. And I got to say thanks to Kevin McKenna. Coach, I look forward to seeing you in person again. You know, we've done too many of these Zoom interviews. I know everyone's used to it by now, but looking forward to seeing you in person, not sitting on a concourse waving like this, saying, hey, guys, how you doing down there? So looking forward to getting back to that.
I didn't even know you were at the games. I thought you might be holed up in your house or something like that, doing the games like some of these guys like Bill Walton and Dave Pasch last night.
Well, that's what I'm doing for road games. For road games, I'm sitting here and, you know, we've got the nice setup. But, yeah, at home, look for me up on the concourse. And if you yell real loud, you know, actually, you probably can just talk normal level with no fans in there and I can hear everything you're saying. For all I know, you guys might be able to hear me better doing a broadcast sitting 50 rows up instead of right next to your bench at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet in there for sure, but hopefully we can make some noise these next couple games.
I like it. Kevin McKenna, thanks for always taking the time, my friend, and good luck this week. Safe travels. When we come back, we've got Eugene Omoruyi. It's Tip-Off Tuesday presented by Carl's Jr. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Hi, welcome to the Spicy Drive-In. May I take your order?
Can I get the spicy chicken sandwich, please?
The spicy chicken is an excellent choice, sir. And to drink?
Whatever's fine.
Oh, may I make a beverage pairing recommendation this evening?
Sure.
If we are feeling especially bold tonight, sir, I would recommend the Mountain Dew with that. It's bravely unrestrained with a very alive aroma that pairs wonderfully with your spicy chicken. It's followed by a hint of zesty citrus flavor.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I'm sure you already know this, sir, but remember to appreciate the nose first by giving the Mountain Dew a little swirl to relieve volatilize it.
What?
To change the flavor compounds and activate your taste buds to get them fully primed for that chicken sandwich.
It's delicious.
Now you're getting the hang of it. The muscular flavor charge characteristics of Mountain Dew make for an absolutely epic mouthfeel when paired with spicy cuisine. It is quite on point, sir.
Dude, it's a perfect match. Like they were made for each other.
So true, so true.
When you want to make good food bolder and bold food better, do the Dew.
Your home for Ducks basketball, the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Tip-Off Tuesday, presented by Carl's Jr. Had the opportunity yesterday after the Ducks finished up practice to talk with Eugene Omoruyi, an Oregon senior. You're going to love getting to know him. Interesting guy, a soccer player that didn't really play basketball until like 10th grade, actually. Kind of an interesting story. We got to know Eugene Omoruyi yesterday. Joining us from Matthew Knight Arena, it's Eugene Omoruyi, kind enough to take some time to chat with us. Eugene, I understand that you're doing treatment right now. Are you multitasking for us?
Yeah, I'm multitasking right now. I'm serious multitasking.
I love it. Well, tell Clay Jamison, who's a January birthday like myself, well done, and thanks for keeping everybody healthy, all right? Tell Clay that.
I got you. I'll tell him.
All right, thank you. All right, Eugene, first and foremost, I have to have a little bit of fun with you. Eugene, how many different ways have you heard your name mispronounced in your life?
Maybe like twice.
That's it?
Yeah. It's been pretty easy. I feel like I've taught a lot of people how to say it right beforehand.
Well, that's true. I will say I knew how to say your name before you got here because everyone already did know, so I'm assuming that must have been all you. Eugene Omoruyi, our guest, redshirt senior. Eugene, I want to talk to you a little bit about your path to Oregon, if we could. Let's
Yes, sir.
start with the fact that I understand you didn't play basketball until you were in about the 10th grade.
Yeah. I didn't really take basketball serious until about the 10th grade. I played soccer my whole life.
What
Just
changed?
I got too tall for soccer. Smaller guys started getting faster, and it just became harder. And I just decided one year that I was going to try basketball out, and it worked for the better.
Are you still a soccer guy? I mean, you still a big
Oh,
soccer fan?
I'm a very big soccer fan. Big Man United fan. Right
Okay.
now we lead the EPL, so we're doing big things this year.
I like it. And I also understand, Eugene, that you speak multiple languages, don't you?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I speak English, obviously, Pidgin English, which is like broken English, and then I speak Bini, which is my language back in Nigeria.
Man, I got to tell you, Eugene, that's pretty cool. Just I can barely speak one language, and
Yes, sir.
and I talk for a living, so I can just you can understand how this is a little bit difficult. All right, so now, Eugene, tell us about your basketball recruiting. You end up going to Rutgers. Now you're here at Oregon. Tell fans your story of how you got to Oregon.
It's been a long journey. Just leaving my neighborhood, a rough neighborhood in Toronto, going to Orangeville Prep, and then Orangeville Prep helped me with my recruitment, having a big year at Orangeville Prep. Just being able to play AAU, and then I was recruited to Rutgers out of the different schools. I decided to go to Rutgers just because at that time I felt like it was a big family atmosphere. But then from there, in my third year, I knew I could do bigger things, and I wanted to go to the tournament. I wanted to compete. So when transferring, when Oregon approached me, Oregon being my favorite school, there was no doubt I was going to come here.
Well, so you mentioned Oregon, your favorite school. Why is that? I imagine there might be a Canadian connection there, right?
Yeah, just because of the Canadian pipeline. All the Canadian hoopers know each other back at home. So when Oregon came up, I knew that was the school that I was definitely going to go to.
How much do you talk to some of those other Canadian Ducks? I mean, there's been a lot of them over the years.
Yeah, there's been a lot. I talked to them before I got here, and then when I did commit, a lot of them did reach out. And during the summer, I was fortunate to talk to some of them, like Dylan, Chris Boucher, and just learn the system, Coach Altman's system. So that really helped.
I imagine watching Chris do what he's doing has got to be a pretty cool thing for you, right?
Yeah, we were at Team Canada together, so yeah.
That's
it's
awesome.
Real big.
Was he always as good at blocking shots as he is now? And how many times have you gotten blocked by Chris, and how many times have you blocked him?
No, I haven't blocked him, and he hasn't blocked me. But I hope he doesn't get many blocks on me though.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, Eugene, I think Duck fans in general, I'll speak for them, that we're all pretty happy that you're here. How helpful was it to be around the program last year? Even though you were going through rehab, I mean, just how helpful was it to get acquainted with the program last year?
It was very helpful, just not only for the program, but the game of basketball, just to pick and choose my spots and just understand the different things I have to do. So that was very helpful. And just learn the plays and just learn Coach Altman's system. And I feel like that really helped to my advantage this year.
Are you already starting to recite some of the things that Coach Altman says, like simple plays in your sleep?
I haven't heard that one yet. I've heard simple plays many, many times. Simple plays. And yeah, that's what he preaches, and being efficient, and that's what you got to do, Coach Altman's system.
What's it been like this year playing without fans, Eugene? I mean, just how odd has that experience been?
It's been different. You got to really bring your own energy. Some games when there's not energy, and sometimes you do need a crowd, you just got to find it amongst your teammates and amongst yourself to bring the energy and just get the guys going. So
I've talked about this on our broadcast a few different times, Eugene, that I feel like you're so skilled in the post that you basically demand a double team. I mean, do you feel like now just every Pac-12 team is like, yeah, we have to double team that guy. There's just no other option.
Yeah, it gets annoying, but it happens almost every game now. So it's just being able to find the guys and just showing that I'm a willing passer is what I've locked in the key to now.
All right, so it's annoying, but it's also a sign of respect, right? I mean,
it's a very big sign of respect.
Yeah, I've always thought that players that demand the double team, it must just be the worst thing ever. But it's also just because you're really good. A couple more for you, Eugene, before I let you go. I feel like you have a very quick release in the post too. I mean, where did that come from? I mean, is that something you've always had?
I feel like it came from soccer and just learning my footwork. Picking up on footwork in basketball is very, very easy for me. The post, I feel like if it's just me and the one defender, I get to pick and choose my spots to get to finish and just get around them. But now that there's double team, I have to pick and choose where to post and just be able to find guys and be able to just make my moves a bit quicker. So, yeah.
What position did you play in soccer?
I played center midfield, and then I moved to defense when I was getting even taller. And then once that didn't work, I was pretty much on the bench because I couldn't run with the faster guys anymore.
I mean, Eugene, I don't know what you're talking about. I feel like you've got a quick step. I mean, I feel like you could keep up with all those guys.
Yeah, I definitely do. But in soccer, is like you got to really pace yourself. It's more about pacing, and I feel like it's a longer game. So, but in basketball, I love going up and down. In soccer, you got to sprint and then pause and then sprint and then pause. So yes.
Last question that I have for you, Eugene, and thanks so much for taking the time, is just keys for you guys this weekend, a long road trip to Los Angeles.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's going to be a long road trip. We just got to lock in as one and just keep practicing hard. We got a real good practice today. We have to come together and I feel like the last game was a reality check. We counted them out, so now we have to go in on this road trip and just focus in on keying on our weaknesses. And in that case, will help us win.
Well, I love watching you play, Eugene, and thanks for being a Duck, and hey, thanks for taking the time. We'll have to do this again at least sometime here. Hopefully next time after a victory. All right. I'm sorry that I got you. I'm sorry that I picked you after a loss. I promise I'll do better next time.
It's okay. It's all good.
I had to tell him that, like it's always not fun when you're the interview after a loss, but Eugene was kind enough to do it, and I thank him for doing so. And man, I love watching. Yeah, how about that? Soccer player, and then as he got taller, he moved to be a defender. And I mean, you can tell. I thought it was super interesting what he said about how he picked up footwork in basketball really quickly because he already had good footwork playing defense in soccer. Yeah. And when he said that, I kind of thought, God, like playing post work in soccer, that's like being an on-ball defender in soccer, and playing post work in basketball, I should say, is very similar. I thought that was interesting.
He'd be a good goalie. 6'6", and as quick as he is.
He would be. Well, I think he's –
or keeper. Is that what you call it? Keeper.
I was going to say –
sorry.
Well, I was just going to say don't give him any ideas because I want him to keep playing basketball,
Okay. Not for a few more years.
That's right. It's Tip-Off Tuesday presented by Carl's Jr. A whole lot more still to come for you. Give you the full schedule, break everything down, a little scouting report as both the Ducks are hitting the road this week on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
What's it like to grow with the O? At OCCU, we support Duck fans each step of the way by educating our youth with Lucky Duck Savings, celebrating independence with Duck Debit Checking, and rewarding members with the Duck Credit Card. That's how Duck fans grow with OCCU. Learn how you can too at myoccu.org/ducks.
Carl's Jr. invites you to try the new Fiery Famous Star. Are you looking for sizzling charbroiled burger bliss, melty pepper jack cheese, and kickin' jalapeno crispiness? All dripping with creamy, zesty, fiery sauce goodness? Your answer is yes. Join us for the new Fiery Famous Star. Only at Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. Available for a limited time at participating Carl's Jr. restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
Ducks basketball lives here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, Fish Dad!
Oh, come on! This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
We're back on Tip-Off Tuesday, presented by Carl's Jr. A whole lot of stuff today, man. Kelly Graves on our Kelly Graves interview, brought to you by Toyota. Of course, Kevin McKenna, brought to you by Carl's Jr. And then a couple player spotlights with Sedona Prince and Eugene Omoruyi. That's just all in all. That was fun today.
That's a full day.
That is.
I think we need to go celebrate.
Why not? I'll take it. That was great. Meanwhile, Oregon women's basketball hitting the road. The men's scheduled to hit the road as well. And man, we're getting into the crunch time right now. I mean, it's really a 4-horse race for women's basketball in the Pac-12, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Arizona, UCLA, Stanford, and the Ducks, all within a game of each other. And it's gonna, like you said, a horse race. Absolutely. 2 p.m. by the way, at Utah, Salt Lake City on Friday, and 11 a.m. Sunday against Boulder. It's Colorado. They're in Boulder, though.
CU Boulder. Yeah. Which, by the way, that does mean for those of you who tune in to Duck Insider, that means no Duck Insider on Friday because we'll have a basketball pregame with Terry Jonz and Bev Smith starting at 1:30. So no Duck Insider set. Yeah, that's right. We'll be doing it actually from right here. So no Duck Insider for you coming up on Friday. The men, though, meanwhile, this is a big road trip. Look, UCLA, 6 o'clock in the evening on Thursday, and then the Ducks are going to play a couple afternoon games, 2:30 against USC on Saturday, and then 2 o'clock scheduled on Monday. This is a huge, huge weekend because it's amazing. You look at the way that this season has gone. UCLA is 8-1 in Pac-12 play. The Ducks are 4-2. Well, that doesn't quite line up. UCLA's played 3 more games than the Ducks.
Yeah.
But that's just the way that it is right now. That's the way that it is. And UCLA and USC are currently in the top of the standings. So
if you were on the road with them, you might come back with a tan down there that long. In LA, you know?
3 games in L.A. We haven't seen that before. That's what the Ducks are getting ready for. So, anyway, it's going to be interesting. I think that we're into officially what I would call crunch time of the season. It feels like once you turn that calendar to February, that's like, oh, man, it's on now.
Yep, absolutely. Down the stretch they go.
That's I like that. All right, well, hey, I know there's a lot of, white stuff falling from the sky.
There was.
In the
Driving in,
Willamette
it was
Valley.
crazy. Come on.
We've been in the studio with no windows. Well, anyway. Good Tip-Off Tuesday. Thanks, everybody.
Dear Wallet, you can't stop a new 2021 Toyota, no matter the weather. The Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. Snowy hills don't stand a chance against the RAV4, and everyone will be comfy in the Highlander. See you in the snow. Toyota. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
More than ever, you're looking for the perfect getaway. With gourmet food, your favorite games, and a beautiful lodge, book the perfect getaway at Spirit Mountain Casino, the Northwest's premier entertainment destination. Go to spiritmountain.com.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. And when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires, brakes, and alignment can go a long way toward giving you better control.
Hey,